feeling that familiar pinch when you think about growing your online game.
Yeah, like you wanted to reach more people, get clicks, maybe some sales happening.
Right, but the social media ad budget, it feels more like, pocket change than a real powerhouse sometimes.
Well, you totally get it. It can feel limiting.
Yeah. So that's why today we're really diving deep into how you can run successful social media ads, even if you don't have like a huge pile of cash.
We're going to unpack the smart ways, the strategies to make a real impact when funds are tight.
Exactly. And, speaking of getting things moving initially, if you're looking to give your profiles a bit of a jump start.
Like build some credibility, get some reach going quickly.
Precisely.
Yeah.
You might want to check out a resource like rapidboost.net for that initial boost, just to get things rolling.
Okay, good tip.
So our deep dive today is actually based on this really insightful article.
Almost like a playbook, right, for small
Yeah,
budgets.
exactly. A playbook for squeezing every bit of value out of a limited ad budget.
Gotcha. Sounds useful.
So whether you're listening as a small business owner, maybe a solopreneur hustling hard, or even a marketer just looking for smarter ways to spend those ad dollars.
You're definitely in the right place. We're digging into the practical stuff.
Our goal here is really to arm you with stuff you can actually use actionable insights to, transform how you approach social ads.
And hopefully transform the results you're seeing, too. That's the main thing.
Definitely. So where does the article suggest we start?
Okay, so the article kicks off by highlighting something really crucial. The social media ad world isn't just one big thing.
Right, it's not monolithic.
Exactly. Think about it. What works great on TikTok might just, fall completely flat on LinkedIn.
Totally different vibes, different audiences.
Right. Each platform, Meta, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter X, whatever it is, has its own set of rules, its own algorithms deciding who sees what.
And its own, audience quirks and behaviors.
Yeah. And when your budget is lean, understanding these individual ecosystems isn't just like a nice to have.
It's essential. It's your secret weapon, basically.
That's what the article argues. It's not about just tossing a few bucks into the digital void and, crossing your fingers.
Hope marketing doesn't usually work well.
Not with ads, no.
Yeah.
The article really clarifies how the ad auction works. Your budget essentially gets you into this competitive space.
But it's not just about who pays the most, right?
That's the key takeaway. It's not just about who throws the most cash on the table. The platforms, especially the big ones like Facebook and Instagram, they look really closely at how relevant your ad is to the people you're targeting.
Okay, relevance.
And how much those people are actually engaging with it, liking, commenting, clicking.
So good content matters even in the auction.
Hugely. The article points out the more your ad resonates, the better your relevance scores can be.
And that means?
That can actually lead to you paying less per click. It's like the platform rewards you for creating good, engaging stuff that people actually like seeing.
Okay, that's encouraging for smaller players.
Definitely. And what's fascinating and really drives this point home is an example the article shares.
Oh, yeah.
A small boutique in Chicago. They were working with just $10 a day on Facebook ads.
Tiny budget.
Super tiny. But by focusing on a very specific local audience and using really lively, attention-grabbing visuals,
Smart.
they managed to cut their cost per result by a whopping 30% in just 2 months.
Wow, 30% on $10 a day is significant progress.
It's a tangible win from a pretty modest investment, right?
That really hits home, doesn't it? It just highlights that when your funds are limited, those broad spray and pray campaigns...
They're your biggest enemy.
Yeah.
Total waste of money.
You need to be laser focused, targeting the right people with messages that truly speak to them.
Yeah, the article makes it crystal clear. The social media ads ecosystem favors relevance, being specific, and sparking that engagement.
Okay, so understanding the platform and being relevant is step one. What's next?
Well, this brings up a critical foundational step the article really emphasizes before you even think about spending a single penny on ads. You've got to audit your existing online presence, your organic presence.
Ah, like your actual profile page.
Exactly. Think of your Facebook page, your Instagram profile, wherever you're planning to send people who click your ads. Think of it like your shop window.
Makes sense. If the shop looks messy.
Right. If it's disorganized or doesn't clearly tell people what you're about, why would someone who just clicked your ad stick around?
They'll just bounce.
Exactly. The article suggests that a messy or incomplete organic presence completely undermines your paid efforts. wasted clicks.
Okay, so what are the practical steps here? The article gets specific.
Yeah, it lays out some very practical things that might seem basic, but they're absolutely crucial.
Like what?
Make sure your bios are fully filled out. Pin your most important posts so they're the first thing people see. Keep your contact details bang up to date.
Consistency and branding too, I assume.
Definitely. Use consistent branding so you're instantly recognizable. And this is key. Double check all your links actually work. Nothing worse than a broken link.
Yeah. Frustrating.
And maybe most vital of all, have a crystal clear call to action on your profile. What is the one thing you want people to do when they land there?
Okay, make it obvious what the next step is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if we connect this back to the small budget theme, all this groundwork builds trust efficiently.
Right. Someone clicks your ad, lands on a professional-looking, clear profile.
They're much more likely to take that next step you want them to take.
Okay. And defining objectives.
Yes. The article also stresses the importance of defining your campaign's objective before you start. What's the one, maybe two at the absolute most, key results you're aiming for with this specific ad campaign?
Like awareness or leads or sales.
Or profile visits, yeah. Trying to achieve too many things at once with a small budget, the article warns, is just a quick way to dilute your impact. You spread yourself too thin.
Focus is key. And there was an example for this too.
Yeah, a neat little case study. Freelance designer. She was tempted to try and boost both website visits and engagement on her posts with her limited budget.
Trying to do it all.
Right. But when she zeroed in solely on driving traffic to her website,
Just that one goal.
just that one, her cost per website visit was slashed in half.
Wow.
And, get this, those who did visit her site were far more engaged, an 80% jump in engagement metrics on the site itself.
That really shows the power of focus when resources are scarce. Pick one thing and nail it.
Absolutely. What's also a key takeaway from the article, something you need to do right at the start,
What's that?
is installing tracking pixels from day one.
The Facebook pixel, TikTok pixel, that code snippet.
Exactly. Platforms like Facebook and TikTok provide these little snippets of code that you place on your website.
Even if you're only spending a tiny amount.
Even then, especially then. Getting these pixels in place is crucial. This little bit of code helps you see what actions people are taking after clicking your ad.
So you know if they actually bought something or signed up.
Precisely. Did they buy? Sign up for a newsletter, add to cart. This data, the article emphasizes, is invaluable for understanding what's working.
And for improving things later.
Exactly. For refining your campaigns. Plus, it unlocks the potential for retargeting those interested folks down the line, which we'll probably get to.
Okay, crucial groundwork. So your online house is in order, your profile looks good, you know your objective, pixels are installed. Now the targeting, that feels critical on a budget.
It's maybe the most critical part. The article was crystal clear on this. With a small budget, you simply cannot afford to cast a wide net.
No spraying and praying.
None. You need to be incredibly precise about who you're trying to reach. Waste is your enemy here.
So what are the smart strategies?
Well, one of the most effective, particularly if you have some existing customer base or online activity, is focusing on warm audiences.
People who already know you somehow.
Exactly. Think about people who have already interacted with your brand in some way. This could be your email list. You can upload that directly to the ad platform.
Right.
It could be people who have visited your website recently. That pixel data comes in handy here.
Right, retargeting visitors.
Or those who have engaged with your previous social media content, liked a post, watched a video.
So leveraging your existing community.
Yes. And the article points out that these custom audiences often perform significantly better, sometimes 2 to 3 times better, than targeting completely new people.
Because they already have some familiarity, some trust maybe.
Exactly. They're not cold leads.
And building on that, lookalike audiences.
Right. The article discusses those too. Once you've had some success with those warm groups, or you have a good customer list,
You can tell the platform.
you can instruct the ad platform to find other people out there who share similar characteristics and online behaviors with your best customers or your most engaged users.
So it expands your reach but keeps it relevant.
Precisely. Some platforms even let you get more granular, like creating lookalikes based on purchase value, finding people similar to those who spend the most.
Oh, interesting. Value-based lookalikes.
Yeah. The article suggests this can be a really powerful way to expand your reach efficiently, finding new potential customers who are likely to be interested.
Okay, warm audiences, lookalikes. What about finding new people based on interests?
That's crucial too, especially when starting out or needing broader reach. But again, the key is narrowing it down.
Oh, so?
The article highlights using interests, behaviors, and even geographical location very specifically. So instead of just targeting, say, women interested in fashion across the entire country.
Which would be huge and expensive.
Right. You could target, for example, women ages 25-40 living in Toronto who are interested in eco-friendly fashion and have recently purchased clothing online.
Wow, okay, that's getting super specific.
That kind of hyper-targeting helps you cut through the noise and reach the people who are most likely to be genuinely interested in your specific offer.
And the advice is to start narrow.
Yes, the advice is generally start narrow, very specific, and then based on how your campaigns are actually performing.
Seeing the results.
Yeah, you can gradually broaden your audience if needed, if you're hitting frequency caps or need more volume. But starting narrow minimizes that initial wasted ad spend.
Makes total sense. Okay, targeted audience nailed down. Now, the actual ad, the creative. How do you make that pop without a Hollywood budget?
Yeah, that's the next hurdle. The article really stresses the importance of compelling visuals and really sharp, concise ad copy.
No room for boring ads when every dollar counts.
Exactly. There's just no room for bland or unengaging stuff. You need to stop the scroll.
And video seems to be a big theme.
Absolutely. A recurring point in the article is the power of video. It mentions that short, snappy videos can significantly outperform static images.
Even basic ones.
Yeah, even basic, authentic footage shot on a smartphone can dramatically cut your cost per engagement. The articles suggest potentially by as much as 50%.
50%? That's huge.
It's massive. The thinking is that the movement and the storytelling, even simple storytelling, in video are just inherently more attention-grabbing in a busy social feed.
Yeah, your eye just catches motion differently.
Right, so it's a high-impact option even if you don't have fancy production gear. Authenticity can work really well.
Okay, so video first, if possible. But visuals aside, the message needs to be clear.
Crystal clear. Even with a great video or a striking image, you need to explicitly tell people what you want them to do next.
The call to action.
Exactly. That's where a strong and obvious call to action, or CTA, comes in. The article gives straightforward examples. Shop now, get a free quote, learn more, see more designs.
No ambiguity.
None. It needs to be immediately clear what benefit they get from clicking or what action you want them to take. Turn passive scrollers into active visitors.
And testing, even on a small budget.
Yes. Even if you're on a tight budget, the article strongly recommends split testing your ad creatives. A/B testing.
How does that work simply?
You don't need to create dozens of different ads.
Yeah.
But at a minimum, try running 2 slightly different versions of the same ad.
And change just one thing.
Ideally, yes. Test just one variable at a time. Maybe it's the headline text, perhaps it's the main image or video, or even just the text on the CTA button. Then you closely monitor which version is getting you better results, maybe a lower cost per click or more leads or a higher conversion rate.
And then you back the winner.
Exactly. You then allocate more of your limited budget to that higher performing ad.
Sure.
It's about optimizing constantly.
Got it. What about using customer feedback?
Another really insightful tip from the article: leveraging social proof and user-generated content.
Like reviews and testimonials.
Exactly. Think about it when you see an ad that features a photo of a happy customer using the product, or includes a positive quote from a review.
It feels more real, more trustworthy.
Instantly more credible. Even a simple screenshot of a glowing review or a short testimonial quote can be incredibly effective in building confidence.
And that doesn't necessarily cost extra to produce. You might already have that content.
Right. You're leveraging assets you might already have.
Okay, so target audience dialed in, compelling, creative, tested. Now making the money actually work hard. Bidding, scheduling.
Yes. This is where the ongoing management comes in. How do you ensure you're actually getting the most bang for your limited buck?
The nitty-gritty optimization.
Precisely. This is where understanding bidding strategies, scheduling your ads wisely, and constantly optimizing your campaigns comes into play, according to the article.
It's not set and forget, especially on a budget.
Definitely not. Running ads on a small budget isn't a passive activity. It requires ongoing attention and tweaking.
So, bidding, manual versus automatic. What's the deal there?
Okay, the article explains the difference. Most platforms default to automatic bidding, where they'll try to get you the most results possible for your set budget, kind of managing the bids for you.
Sounds easiest.
It often is. However, with manual bidding, you can actually set a specific cap on how much you're willing to pay for a certain action, like a click or an impression.
More control.
More control. The article suggests testing both approaches. Sometimes manual bidding can actually help smaller advertisers compete, maybe preventing you from being constantly outbid by huge companies with massive budgets going after the same broad audience. It gives you a lever to pull.
Worth testing then. What about when the ads run?
That's ad scheduling, another really practical point in the article. Instead of just running your ads 204/7.
Which might waste money overnight or when your audience isn't active.
Exactly. Think about when your specific target audience is most likely to actually be online and engaged on that platform.
Evenings, weekends, lunch breaks.
Could be. The article suggests analyzing those peak activity times for your audience and maybe only showing your ads during those specific windows.
And the impact.
This focused approach, showing ads only at peak times, can potentially significantly boost your engagement rates, the article mentions, maybe by 20% to 40%, without increasing your overall spending. More impact for the same money.
Smart. But what about showing ads too often to the same people?
Good point. Ad fatigue. You don't want to annoy people, especially if you're targeting a relatively small niche audience.
Right, they just tune it out or get irritated.
That's where frequency capping comes in. The article recommends setting a limit on how often any single individual sees your ad.
Like maybe 3 times a week?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe 2 or 3 times a week or a certain number of times per day. This helps prevent that ad fatigue and ensures your limited impressions are maybe seen by a slightly wider segment of your target audience rather than hammering the same few people.
Spreading the love or the ads a bit?
Kind of, yeah. And the final piece of this whole optimization puzzle, according to the article, is just diligent monitoring and being willing to make adjustments.
Checking the dashboard regularly.
The advice is pretty direct. You need to be proactive. Check your ad performance daily, or at least very regularly, especially in the first week or so of a campaign.
And be ruthless.
Be willing to be ruthless, yes.
Hmm.
If an ad or an ad set just isn't delivering the results you need, don't be afraid to pause it.
And shift the budget.
And reallocate that budget to the ads or audiences that are performing well. The article really emphasizes being willing to experiment, learn from the data, and make those data-driven adjustments constantly.
It's an active process. Okay, are there any more like advanced tricks or hacks mentioned?
Yeah, the article does touch on a few more advanced tactics and growth hacks that can give you an extra edge, even without a massive spend.
Like what?
Well, one of the most powerful, which we touched on with warm audiences, is remarketing or retargeting.
Going after people who've already interacted.
Exactly. The article really highlights this. By specifically targeting ads only to individuals who have already shown some level of interest, maybe they visited specific pages on your website, clicked a previous ad, added something to their cart but didn't buy, or engaged with your social profiles.
You're talking to a much warmer audience.
A much warmer audience that is significantly more likely to convert. The article suggests conversion rates can be 2 to 4 times higher compared to targeting completely cold audiences.
Wow, that's a huge multiplier effect for the same ad spend.
It really is. It's often one of the highest ROI activities you can do with ads.
Okay, what else?
Another interesting tip is to actively leverage social proof on your ads and foster a sense of community around them.
How does that work?
Encourage satisfied customers, if possible, maybe via email or a post, to leave comments on your actual running ads if they see them, or even share the ads.
So, getting organic interaction on the paid posts.
Yes. The article suggests that this organic engagement, comments, shares, positive reactions, can not only boost your ad's visibility through the platform's algorithm.
Makes it look more popular.
Right, but it can also improve your relevance scores, which, as we discussed, can contribute to lower advertising costs over time. It adds social validation right there on the ad.
Clever. Using the community to amplify the ad.
Exactly. And one more for really tight budgets, exploring partnerships with micro-influencers.
Okay, not the huge celebrity types.
No, individuals who have a smaller but often highly engaged and very niche-specific following, maybe in the range of, say, 1,000 to 10,000 followers.
And the collaboration could be.
The article proposes things like maybe offering them a free product sample in exchange for an honest review or mention, or featuring their testimonial in your ads.
Or maybe even co-creating an ad campaign.
Yeah, potentially running collaborative ads where you both benefit. It can be a really cost-effective way to tap into very targeted, engaged communities and generate fresh, authentic-looking content for your own ads as well.
Lots of angles there. Okay, so if we were to boil this all down, what's the simple blueprint the article suggests?
Yeah, it provides a really clear kind of step-by-step roadmap for running social media ads effectively on a shoestring budget.
Let's recap it.
Okay, step 1, audit and polish your profiles. Get your house in order first.
Right. Foundation first.
Step 2, define one clear objective, maybe two, and set your budget caps realistically.
Focus, focus, focus.
Step 3, set up those tracking pixels immediately. Don't skip this.
Measure what matters.
Step 4, build targeted, high-intent audiences. Think retargeting those website visitors, lookalikes of best customers, or very specific interest behavior combos.
Warmest and most relevant first.
Step 5, create at least 2 creative variations to test. Prioritize video if possible, and always have clear CTAs.
Test and learn.
Step 6, launch with a short test run, maybe 5-7 days, and monitor performance daily, especially at the start.
Keep a close eye on it.
And Step 7, optimize and scale the winner. Pause what's not working. Give more budget to what is. Maybe incrementally broaden the audience or increase the budget if results are good and sustainable.
It's a cycle. Test, learn, optimize, repeat.
Exactly. That's the core loop.
And that bakery example really brought it to life, didn't it?
It really did. That $300 budget example.
Local bakery targeting nearby residents.
With that specific message. Fresh, local croissants order for pickup. Super clear.
And the video test was key.
Huge. Split testing video of the baking process versus just static images.
Yeah.
The video literally cut their cost per order in half.
Amazing. And the retargeting.
That boosted things further. Retargeting people who'd visited their website or engaged with their Facebook page led to 45% more orders for the same $300 budget.
So layers of optimization.
Exactly. Careful daily tweaks, adjusting the audience radius, optimizing ad times, it all added up that incredible $0.88 cost per sale.
Which, as the article noted, was way better than the local average. Just shows what smart strategy can do.
Absolutely. What makes that bakery example so powerful is it really underscores the central message of the article.
Which is?
Achieving success with a small social media ad budget isn't just about spending less money. You can spend little and get nothing.
Right. It's about strategy.
It's about employing smart, targeted strategies to ensure that every single dollar you do invest works as effectively as possible, getting more from every dollar.
It's about that relentless focus on relevance, getting the targeting super precise.
Creating ads that actually engage people, that are persuasive.
And committing to that continuous optimization loop, always looking for ways to improve.
Working smarter, essentially, not just spending more.
Absolutely. So the key takeaway from this deep dive, pulling from the article, really seems to be that you can achieve significant results with social media ads, even if you don't have a massive marketing budget.
It's definitely possible. It just requires a different approach. More strategic thinking, more focus.
Being laser-focused in your targeting, being creative within your means, and being really committed to ongoing optimization based on data.
That sums it up pretty well.
So, a final thought maybe for everyone listening.
Yeah, perhaps consider the long-term impact here. If you consistently apply these kinds of focus strategies, even with a relatively small but intelligently managed budget, what could that actually achieve for your goals over the next 6 months or the next year?
Thinking about that cumulative effect of smart, consistent effort.
Exactly. Small wins adding up to potentially big progress.
That's a really powerful question to consider. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today and exploring these smart strategies for making the most of your social media ad budget.